Give it up for Josh. He's about to... Yeah, just sit him right here, man. Just sit him right here. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Brandon. Josh, first I want to tell you, I said it on the porch Thursday. Him and I met Thursday. I went out and had a great cup of iced tea. Your mom makes amazing iced tea. It was decaf, and I liked it. It was, thank you, April, for supplying my needs at the moment with my thirst. But, Josh, there's, I remember last year we went off to camp, and really I'd just only been here for a few months. And as I met you and as I talked with you, I was familiar with your name, okay? And I knew the name you carried, okay, Joshua. And I knew the representation scripturally of who Joshua was and what he was about. So when I heard his name, I thought, God, is he a Joshua? And as I prayed for you, as I left your presence, I prayed that day. I said, God, is he a Joshua? I felt like I was saying, yeah, he's a warrior. And you got a warrior's heart. And so from that warrior's heart, you're able to be molded. And so I thank you for your boldness. And I just asked Josh, just for a minute, just to share with you guys his peace that was experiential.
Okay, so about the past 2 months, they've been a little bit hard for a bad place to be in my faith and really just in my life. And as a result of that, I sort of had this cloud over my head. It followed me everywhere I went. It was unhappiness, it was sadness, it was worry, a lot of worry, anxiousness, it was anger, there was no joy, and as a result of that, I was mean to my friends. I was very quick. When my brothers would ask me something, and it snapped like just stone. And my parents, I had a lot of attitude toward them. Like, they'd say something, and immediately I'd talk back. And I didn't think anything of it then, but now I know it's really not. I'm surprised. I'm really thankful for the parents that I have, because honestly, I think they should have done a lot more than they did.
He did. He shared it with me Thursday. He's like, they should have done this. So I said, maybe we'll leave that one out.
And so, basically, this cloud followed me everywhere I went. To school, I had basically put a mask on. Not really, but it was fake. I had a facade. I was like, oh yeah, I'm happy, and I sort of faked the whole thing. The only place I was really happy, and I can never really explain it. It was when I stepped, and it wasn't just church in general. It was when I stepped into this building. When I pulled up in the parking lot and I walked in the building, that was the only place. I was happy. I couldn't wait for Sundays and Wednesdays. I used to think of church, it was a have to. My parents would get me up in the morning, and it's like, man, I want to sleep in until 10. And then, they get me up, and now it's like, okay, I want you to get me up. I was ready for them to get me up, and it's like, I need to go to church. Not I want to, I need to. I have to get in that building. There's something about it, and I have to be in there. Wednesday nights came, I loved them. They used to just take up my time in the day. It's like, man, I could totally have 2 more hours. But, they came along Sunday. The little children, I couldn't, it doesn't matter if it's little children or the service, either one I love to be in. And so I got to thinking when I got home, every time I got home, the worry, everything set back in. And I got to thinking, I was like, man, how do I get that everywhere? I want it at school, I want it at my house, I want it with my family. How do I get that? So I started praying. I was like, Lord, I need something. I don't want to just want something. I need something if this is going to work out. And so I started praying. I was like, Lord, show me, tell me what you need, because I know if you don't ask for the right thing, then you're not going to get it. So I asked, Lord, what is the right thing? What do I need to pray for? And I prayed it every night, and it came on a Wednesday. And Don asked me, he just came up to me, we were in the parking lot, I was playing football. He said, hey Josh, I need you to pray for something in the ministry. And I was like, okay. Leaders, I thought, or students. How about the students' friends? And the Lord was like, there was a little thing in the back of my head, it was like, peace. And I was like, nah. So then I went on, I was like, oh, courage. How about boldness? And then the back of my head, there was a little bit louder this time, it was like, peace. And so I thought, being stubborn, I'll just pray for the students first. So I walked inside, and it was as if the Lord pretty much picked me up by the back of my shirt and said, pray for peace, Josh. And I was like, okay, pray for peace then. So when it came time to pray for peace, I was like, I'll just pray, Lord, give us peace, amen. And so I got up there, I said, Lord, give us peace. Right before I said amen, he said, you better not say amen. It's my turn. So
you can see it happening too. I mean, you can see this stuff. You know what it said? You can see it happening. It's like, all of a sudden, this is what happens.
And so the Lord was like, it's my turn to teach you. You sit down now. And so he started, the words coming out of my mouth were no longer for everyone else. They were directed towards me, and I was supposed to listen. And he said, Lord, don't just give us peace, give us your peace, the peace that passes all understanding. And I got to thinking, I was like, that's what I need. I need peace. And he's like, no, you still don't get it. You need my peace. You need the peace that goes beyond all human knowledge. And I sat there, and it hit me. I was sitting there, and he was teaching me. He was like, now you get it, Josh? I was like, yeah, now I get it. And so when it came time for me to pray, he gave me back my words. And I said, Lord, give us the peace that passes all understanding. And let us just lay our worries and everything, just leave it right here tonight and walk home. I got home. I waited for 3 hours for the worry and the sadness to come back. I literally sat there and waited, and it did. And so, I was sitting there, and then the next day, I swear, there was something that came on the radio, and it was just one of those 60 seconds of hope things. And one of the dudes, one verse that caught me said, you have not because you ask not. And that hit me. I was like, oh, well, I know what I'm doing